And I'm learning that there are certain notes that when you play, they affect the neurobiology in your body and help bring down stress. And so the notes are C and G. And so I've asked Mark if he would play C and G for us, and then he'll begin to play. So welcome, center yourselves, be here. Bravo. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Utica. We stand upon the ancient lands of the Mohawk and the Oneida people. This land was taken from them, not given to us, but we are learning as Unitarian Universalists what it means for us to be in this space that we love so much, that is a space that was shared by people who are now relocated, but not far from us. So what that means. And welcome here, because we all know that we have different paths from where we have come, who we love, where we are going, what we bring with us, what we've left behind, who we claim as family. All of those options, all of those choices and pathways are welcome here. And so I would like to begin by also making announcements. And one of them is that, and I know Jack has got to make an announcement, and I'll wait for him to appear. If someone would go tap Jack Pendrack on the shoulder to make an announcement, that would be great. And the announcement I'll make is that during Together time, which is in your order of service, I'll invite you to look under your chair, but not yet. Under your chair is one of the things that's on the menu. That menu over there, I'll read it out loud. There's a clipboard, paper, and pen under some chairs. There are crayons and colored paper under some chairs. There are 3 books of mandalas and colored pens under 3 chairs. There's origami paper under, I think, 4 chairs. There's bags of clay, and there are colored pipe cleaners, and there are building sticks, glue, and crayons, and there are books of poetry. So when it comes time, I'll invite you to peek underneath, pull out what you have, and then we're going to create a lot of chaos. Because if you would like something different, you can hold up what you have, and see if someone else would like that instead, okay? No one has to give up what you have, but you're welcome to share or welcome to trade or take a bag from under a chair that's not occupied currently. Jack, please come up and make an announcement before we lose you again. Come on up. Do you want to announce how this is going to go ahead, or you want to wait until the end?
Why don't I wait until the end?
All right.
After the service, and we'll tell everybody how it's going to work.
Many of you probably know Jack does this every year, helping us figure out how to get the chairs and tables and all that done. So he'll announce that at the end. Thank you so much. Are there other announcements that need to be made at this point? Okay, beautiful. So I'm inviting Teal Carpenter to come up and I will light the chalice while Teal reads from the Jewish Studio Project.
I'm glad everybody laughed because you know what it's like. Cultivating creativity is a core competency for navigating the challenges and harvesting the potential of our time. Creativity is the wellspring of our deepest power and among the best tools we have for exploring, adapting, and bringing forth new ways to thrive in our ever-changing world. Creativity is inherent within all of us, yet we live in a society in which most of us are cut off from this essential part of who we are. This is a crisis of spirit and imagination. Let us gather in sacred community to ignite the spirit of creativity within us all.
Wonderful. That's it. Aren't you a higher voice? Your tenors. is Ken Carmen. Oh, Ken, welcome. I'm glad to meet you. Come on over. Let's share this microphone. Unmute, we have the same thing. Very good. This also is from the Jewish Studio Project. Creativity is healing. It is possibility. Creativity is prayer.
Creativity is generative. It is the key.
Creativity is being in call and response with the divine. It is the pathway to the truth.
It is imagining a more just world. Creativity is at the root of almost everything that makes us feel connected.
It is dancing with a divine flow. Creativity is inside each of us.
It is freedom to explore. It is that moment when what is locked in my spirit jumps out onto a piece of paper. Creativity is a path to our inner knowing.
Creativity is where we and the divine meet. It is when you discover what you thought was a brick wall is really an unlocked door and you can just step right through it. Creativity is the road to and from liberation.
It is letting all the emotions inside of you out into the world, onto the world. Creativity is a reflection of the divine that's within us. Creativity is what keeps us alive.
It is necessary. It is therapeutic. Creativity is a means of resistance.
It is bringing something new into existence, letting the bounty within emerge.
It is life living through us, the future.
It is magic, a human response to all the beauty and pain in the world.
Feel it? Let's read it. Here, let's read this last one together.
Oh, together.
Yeah. Creativity is yours, and all you need to do is start. Thank you. Ah. No. If you turn in your gray hymnal to page 188, the words come from the prophet in the 12th century, the words being an intention set in the desert where it is not easy to walk.
All right, so this hymn is a round. So what we're going to do first, and we can do this before we stand up, is we will practice it a couple of times through. So we're going to go through the whole hymn twice together, and then we are going to help lead you all in a two-part round. You ready, Mark? Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. All right, that was very good for the practice round. So now, if you are on this side of the church, you are going to sing with me, and we're going to start. And if you are on this side of the church, you are going to sing with Barb and Kim, and you will come in on where it says the little number 2 there, so after the first line. So now if we could stand as we are willing and able. All right, my part. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. We'll do it one more time. Come, come, whoever you wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Very nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. I was just deeply influenced by Julie Horvat, who was a religious education teacher here for years. And she taught me how to do spirit play, which is a Unitarian concept of working with children in a way that they can explore what's inside of them and their own responses to our Unitarian Universalist values, combined with the Montessori process, the Montessori school process. And so one of the things that it involves is presenting a story and some props with wonder, and then creating space for the children to actively wonder. And they can interact with the props. The children will actively wonder, and then they'll have work time, where they go to their own separate little rugs on the floor and they bring the supplies that they have at hand and they make. They just make in response or whatever's in them, and they're expressing their unique selves into the world. And so I'm going to introduce you to this spirit play. One of the things that some of the children in the back will already know because they've seen it before, but I need to turn my lavalier on and step away from the mic so I don't screech. How's that? Can you still hear? A lot. Does that mean, pardon me? Okay. So the children saw this, some of the children saw this last time I was here. What's in the center of this board, but we put it on the floor. What's on the center of this board represents whatever you call as capital T true, or sacred, or the source of life, or the universal life force, whatever it is you call that source, that sacredness, whether it be God, spirit, love, spirit of community, all of it is present in this golden circle. And underneath, I have the Unitarian Universalist tree. The Unitarian Universalist tree is an absolutely beautiful possibility of what we are trying to do together. This tree, as you see, is connected to that source. I love it. I can talk when I'm standing behind something. And you'll see that there are roots. There are two things. These are our sources. This is what we draw up into ourselves. On this already is a sense of wonder and also science. And you can imagine there are many, many other things to go on these roots because we draw from everything that has an element of truth in it that moves our souls and helps us understand what is central in life. And so today we're activating wonder and science because we're feeding the value that we have of growing who we are, growing our knowledge, growing what we believe, growing and learning and finding out what other people are learning and just growing from that experience. And so there are lots of branches that are all of the principles. So we've got the values, the sources, the principles, and what we want to do in our lives. And so the one story I'll share with you, the children were exposed to and had a wonderful time with. Can anybody tell me what this is? What is that?
The sky.
It's the sky with stars. It's huge, it's long, it's dark. This is what we see when we walk out of our house at night, right? Yeah, you notice what that is, right? And so in these stars, what we do is talk about the fact that we live in the universe. Every one of us, everything that is, we live in the universe. And because we live in the universe, it's really good for us to be thinking about, now what does that look like? Because I don't live up there, I live right here. But right here is another part of what it means to live in the universe. It's a house. Now, some of us live in houses, and some of us live in apartments. And one of the children, the last time we were together, said, you know, there are some people who live on the street. And we wondered, does the person who lives on the street also belong in the universe? It's really worthwhile to think about that, for sure. And then you go all the way up to the state that we live in, and you know, we skipped a few other things along the way, and we get to the cosmos, and all the things in between, and all the things at the end, the galaxy. So what happens next is that the children get to touch, remove pieces, and wonder, is the story different if one piece is missing? Is the story different if I live someplace else on the planet? We just wonder, and then we put things down and we play. We create. And that is what I'm going to invite all of us to do today. Now, don't get nervous. This is not, see, in the last couple of years, I have come to believe that if I can't produce something that I want to show to other people, I won't do it. But what I've learned in preparation of this service is that everything you do, no matter what, to create, changes our bodies and our minds biochemically. Our nervous systems change. So just the act of working with a material will change you. Also of reading. So now is when you get to look under your chair or somebody else's chair and pull out that paper bag or that book. Do you want something else? All right. Now, there's a book over here if you want it. There's, feel free to explore. Pipe cleaners available if anybody wants pipe cleaners. Yeah, you can use any of these things. So now the core choir was busy when I was dispersing these and didn't get things. So if there are bags sitting unused, would somebody bring them up to the choir? Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. If anybody needs anything, if you don't like what you have, there's some clay. Does anybody want clay? So I know many of you come to services in order to have some serenity and peace. And then we'll move from this chaos and mixing up all the ingredients, and we will move into a space of quiet. Once you have something that you want to work with. Is this microphone? Which microphone? Okay.
I can hear it.
Okay, everybody. So now take what's in your bag so it stops rattling. Just take it out and put that bag on the floor. Thank you. The invitation is simply, do not stress about whether you hear every word that I say. Do not stress about whether you understand everything. Do not worry. Allow yourself to interact with what you have in your hands. And by doing so, I will be threading words out there that you might pick up on to help you understand what the purpose of this is, okay? So go ahead, fiddle, doodle. Do your very best to make less noise so that we can hear one another. Human beings search for meaning. We notice and marvel at the world we live in. We wonder about the great questions of living, birth, illness, joy, and death. It is a human need to make meaning of this world and our place in it so that we can live lives filled with purpose. Creativity is one way in which we access this life-giving energy and express our spiritual core, our unique feelings, our perceptions of wonder and awe, ideas and experiences back out into the world. It is our birthright as human beings. We are all born creative. We bring something that is within us into outer awareness. We transform and grow through this process. Providing space for creativity is a foundation of providing form, creating growth, allowing our core being and our faith to bloom. I became convinced that's worth the risk of creating chaos in this sanctuary for each of us to tinker with creativity while we wonder about what is most meaningful to you as individuals and to us in this very difficult and amazing life. It was Kathy Marsh, the director of programming for the Morrow Warming Center, who introduced me to the book, Your Brain on Art. It's astounding. It's astounding. Kathy will be speaking here for a service in February, and I hope that she shares with you some of what she's doing with people downtown who are chronically homeless. What is so exciting is that creativity, just seeing it, hearing it, making just about anything, dancing, wiggling to music, doodling and coloring, all cause physiological changes in our bodies and our brains. Kathy invites people who are unhoused, thrown away, and shamed in this city into creative space. According to research shared in the book, Your Brain on Art, the arts trigger the release of neurochemicals, hormones, and endorphins that offer you an emotional release. When you experience virtual reality, read poetry or fiction, see a film or listen to a piece of music or move your body to dance, to name just a few of the many, many ways to create, you are biologically changed. There is a neurochemical exchange that can lead to what Aristotle called catharsis, or a release of emotion that leaves you feeling more connected to yourself and allows others to connect as well. This book shows how specific art forms release certain hormones and neurochemicals, which in turn affect physiology and behavior and well-being. So think of the arts as an activity that changes your biology, your emotional state, and enhances your mental well-being in order to be in the world in a beautiful, positive way. And it's so needed right now. I quote again from Your Brain on Art. For the first time since these statistics have been collected, mental illness is increasing at a faster rate than physical illness in our world. There's a tangible ripple effect to all of this, including an increase in absenteeism at school and at work and higher rates of divorce. There's also an alarming sense of collective despair and an increasing lack of hope. An increase of what are called diseases of despair, which include drug and alcohol overdose, alcoholic liver disease, and suicide. And so, back to my words, I invite you to tinker. Tinker with creativity today, and hopefully you'll have a tangible memory so that you remember to add tinkering into other parts of your day. Tinker with creativity and wonder what is most meaningful to you individually. Tinker with creativity and wonder what is most meaningful to us individually and collectively. Wonder about this and then put it aside. Stop trying to figure it out and just tinker. And tinkering will change what's in you. Artists, sculptors, musicians, dancers, seamstresses, people who use all manner of materials to create, rappers, poets and writers, gardeners, designers, architects, and on, use this professionally, which in some ways makes some of us feel like we're not qualified. We're not good enough to pick up anything to tinker with creatively. Somewhere along the line, and I suspect it had to do with the development of capitalist economies, for anyone who's no longer labeled as a child, it is considered either inappropriate or silly to color or to pick up crayons and doodle. A waste of time. Somehow we become convinced that if you're not good at art, it is better to leave creativity to those who can make a living at it. The lovely fact is that whether you're good at it or not, trying your hand at anything that you feel curious about will change us, will change you. Quoting again, New Zealand psychologist Tamlin Connor, who studied the mental attributes of creative activities, including coloring, calls it an act of little c creativity. An everyday activity that we may not think of as art, but it does reduce depressive symptoms. It reduces anxiety. Studies have found that coloring can have a similar psychological response in the brain as the act of meditating by reducing outside noise and allowing to focus. The results of a study found all physical indicators of anxiety, all physical indicators of anxiety reduced while coloring. You don't even have to color within the lines. And that our own self-perception of our anxiety changed. It makes sense from a neurobiological perspective, as coloring can diminish activity in the amygdala. I'm speaking with Unitarian Universalists, so I have to make sure there's science in there too. It's not a waste of time. Don't stress about whether you hear everything or anything that I say, but know that tinkering with the materials in your hands, allowing you the act of creating anything at all, eases your body chemistry and your mind. The goal isn't to produce something to be showed to somebody else or to be consumed by someone else. The goal is to tinker, to allow the tinkering and the doing to affect your being. There's a hush. If you'd like, You can let your mind wander, look out windows, or wonder about the meaning of life or the questions that are bothering you, or not. But if you allow yourselves to tinker and create, your mind will eventually help settle the stress and allow you to find what brilliance there is in your body, in your experience, in your thoughts, in your emotions. So I'm going to invite anybody who'd like to just say a word or two, if you'd like, about what this has been like. And it's okay to say that it was awkward or boring, or you discovered something. What do you think? Is there anybody interested in sharing something? Go ahead. Here. Spontaneity. What? Go ahead. Yes, I see someone with a hand. I'll go here.
I ended up with these pipe cleaners, and somehow immediately to my mind came this wonderful documentary I saw a few years ago, My Octopus Teacher. I don't know if anyone has seen it, and how this scientist, I won't say became friends with the octopus, but he observed her so closely through a whole life cycle. And I ended up with, I thought it was exactly 8 legs I could make, which I did, but then I found this other pipe cleaner stuck in the bag, and I made this into a cord connecting the human being with the octopus and with other animals. So that's what I did with mine.
That's yours.
I just rediscovered Hokusai, who is one of my very favorite Japanese painters and printmakers. What a treat. Well, no, I read this little thing that you had marked in the book. I love it.
Brings a sense of happiness.
Very much.
Happiness and aha get us to places where stress will not allow us to go. Who else? Yes, Ken.
I have no idea why I connected the two. I mean, I automatically just started making a puppet. But then I saw what you were doing with the tree and the circles, and the Harry Chapin song kept coming to mind. All night life's a circle.
Anyone else want to share? Yes, please, go ahead, Tia.
I have a 4-year-old granddaughter that I watch, and she colors, mostly with markers, oh goodness, all over the place. Sometimes only in black, sometimes in color, and she doesn't care what it looks like, and she brings it to me, and I say, oh, it's so beautiful. So I made a Phoebe type drawing, and then I added in feelings.
Anyone else? No pressure.
I was thinking when you were talking about people that feel like they can't do any art unless they're, Rembrandts. And as a lot of people know, I teach an art class to beginners, and I have people that say, I can't draw a straight line. And I said, we're doing landscapes. In nature, there are really no straight lines. So, except for a horizon line in the ocean or a lake. And that's exactly what I say. It's the act of creating. It takes, I don't know about everybody else, but it takes me somewhere. I can start painting and be lost for hours and hours and hours. And I think it's really important for everybody to have some kind of a creative hobby.
Anyone else? I'm walking across the galaxy as I do this. It's very transformative. Oh, thank you.
Oh, please. It's just that
It's just that I'm really pleased to hear that there is a book about your brain on art, because it gives me almost permission to say the ghosts of my parents who are saying, why are you wasting time? I'm not wasting time. It gives me permission. I can do this.
We all need permission to make messes and try to be creative or just move. Moving, by the way, is also moving to a beat. Moving to the beat in your head is also a way to create. Gardening.
Absolutely.
So am I in this microphone now? Thank you, Melissa. So one of the last chapter of this book, the authors, by the way, who are Magsamen, and Ross, you can come look at it at some point if you'd like. They end talking about what your life might look like if you really allowed creativity and doodling and wiggling and listening to music, all the different senses, into a legitimate, quote unquote, part of your day. You have a daily practice now that is as vital to you as exercise and meditation and breathing. Creativity, you now understand, is a conversation with yourself, a way to connect your mind, body, and spirit, and to support your health and well-being. Some days it's just 20 minutes of doodling to reduce cortisol after a challenging and stressful experience. Other times it's hearing the keys of C and G together. People use tuning forks to hear C and G together, and it brings down anxiety. Sometimes tactile things like sculpting with clay or just fiddling with clay, knitting or gardening, where your mind wanders and you are in a flow state. The sensation of working the clay, the yarn, the soil in your hands stimulates skin and nerve endings and ignites the body's internal sensory receptors. Through sensory motor pathways, you feel instantly attentive. It's a biological response. You feel attentive, awake, and more receptive. Creativity here is not about the end product. It is a process, an active way of being and knowing. And may that be so for us all. I'll also say that there's a blue box as you go out the sanctuary to return books or pens or clipboards, anything you think we might have use of afterwards, please return there. But otherwise, enjoy the use of them. And so we're going to invite a very upbeat hymn, which is in your blue book on 1074. It's called Turn the World Around. And if somebody wants to dance to it, that's what it's for. Or just tap your foot, that's also good. Or moving your, 1074 in the teal hymn book, Turn the World Around. Please rise in body or spirit when you are able.
We can come from the fire, living in the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who life, but you are. So is life. Water make the river, river wash the mountain, fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life, but you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life, but you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life, but you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life, but you are. So is life.
Beautifully done. Have a seat, everyone. You may have noticed at the bottom of the page that this was Harry Belafonte's. Yeah, yeah. Harry Belafonte. Yep. When my mother was on her deathbed, she asked for some fun music. We turned on Harry Belafonte, and even though she could not move most of her body, her hips went, uh. It is so worth letting go. And so I'm going to invite Reverend Jeff Frank, wherever you are.
Good morning. Teal, you were right about seeing. When I first started this, I was using font size 12. I'm up to 20. Yes, yes. In any event, church, contrary to what most of society thinks, is not a building. It is the community who nurture and support it. A church is like a family, and like all families, there is growth and there is loss. There are members of our church families who have passed in the years since we last gathered for this occasion. Today, we honor their memories. Given the time factor, we're going to pass by joys and concerns, and I'm going to invite you instead to join me in a time of prayerful meditation. These are the words of Lynn Cox. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for the oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy to the day. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and of beauty. We thank you for all these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. So be it, blessed be, and amen. And we will now give and receive the morning offering to support the work, the wonder, and the witness of this community.
Don't sit, just stay. Would you read the words of extinguishing the chalice that are in your order of service, please, while I snuff the candle? We extinguish Nita Penfold, creator of Spirit Play, says creative is one way in which we access the life-giving energy and express our core. We express our core back into a world that needs us. It is our birthright as human beings. We are all born creative. We bring something that is within us into outer awareness. We transform and grow. Providing space for your creativity is a foundation of religious education and a foundation to form our core and our faith together. May it be so for us all.